Last year, someone moved into a new apartment in our community, and I had the privilege of helping him put up a mezuzah. While we were chatting, he mentioned something interesting, that his building was owned by a religious Jew, and there was even an office inside the building where visibly observant Jews worked. Now, in Brooklyn, New York, that's not exactly headline news. But I mentally filed it away, thinking that maybe one day it will come to good use. And that day came this week. Over the past several weeks, I've heard from many Jews, friends, neighbors, and community members who are feeling uneasy. Some are even afraid. With everything going on in the world, there's a heaviness in the air. And yet, here we are, just days away from Hanukkah, the festival of lights, a holiday that celebrates freedom over oppression, light over darkness, faith over fear. I found myself asking, what can I do to bring more light into the community, literally and spiritually? And then it struck me, that building, that office, that corner, it would be a perfect place for a beautiful glowing menorah, a beacon of Jewish pride and resilience, a symbol that says we're here, we're proud, and we're not afraid. So I rang the bell at the office, and I asked if they could connect me with the building's owner. I explained my idea, and Baruch Hashem, they said yes. This morning, bundled up against the cold, I went out and installed the menorah. As I was putting on the last pieces, a woman walked by with her dog. She paused and she asked me, "Does this menorah light up?" I smiled and I said, "Yes, it does, and it looks amazing when it does." She looked at it, took a deep breath and said, "Wow, that's really special." I immediately asked her if she was Jewish, and she said yes. And then shared something that broke my heart. She said last year she had put up a small menorah right outside her window, but it was vandalized. She was devastated. But now seeing this large, beautiful menorah standing tall in her neighborhood, 1 block away, it moved her deeply. She began to cry tears of joy. Her neshama, her soul, was on fire. She was beaming with pride. I took her contact information, and I told her that she'll be invited to all of our upcoming events. She'll become part of our growing Jewish family in the neighborhood. As I finished up, a van drove by. Inside was a chassid on his way to Borough Park. He slowed down, and he pointed out the menorah to one of his passengers. Even he, with his long payas and black hat, was inspired by the menorah. And in that moment, I felt like I caught a tiny glimpse of what the Rebbe must have seen when he launched the campaign to place menorahs in public spaces. The power of one menorah, even before it's lit, to touch a Jewish soul, to uplift a heart, to remind us of who we are. This week's Parsha is Parshas Vayeshev. We read about Yosef HaTzadik, Joseph, who was thrown into a pit, sold into slavery, imprisoned and forgotten. And yet, through it all, he never gave up. He never lost his faith. What gave him the strength? The image of his father, the chinuch, the education that he received. And that's the connection. The word Chanukah itself comes from the word chinuch, education. This holiday is about passing on light, values, and identity. It's about kindling flames that warm the soul and illuminate the darkness. That's why public menorahs matter. That's why every candle we light matters, because each one is a reminder to ourselves and to the entire world that the Jewish flame burns bright, that we're proud, and that we're not alone. So this Hanukkah, let's each find a way to bring more light and more joy, more courage. Let's inspire one more Jew. Let's be the reason that someone else smiles. Let's remember someone else. Let's connect. May Hashem bless you with a bright Hanukkah, a joyous Hanukkah, and a Hanukkah that lights up not just your home, but the entire community. Good Shabbos and a Freilichen Hanukkah.